welcome back to ONYX Pages. I'm Jerry, and I am here to do the Back from BOOKNETFEST tag that I created, which was inspired by the BOOKNETFEST tag that was created by Kathy Trithart. Okay, so I have my phone here with the 7 questions that I'm going to answer. So the first, describe your experience at BOOKNETFEST in one word. Community. 2, what was your favorite session and why? My favorite session was the workshop on how to grow your channel, and I really enjoyed it because it was super practical. There were a number of really helpful tips that I felt that I could implement on my channel right away. The panelists, Sam and I don't remember the name of the second panelist, but I will put it in the video, were super knowledgeable, really generous, very responsive to questions and generous with their ideas. And there was a lot of audience participation. I sat in the front row, as I often do, and I got a lot of my questions answered about how to build ONYX pages. So I really found that that panel was wonderful. 3, what is one way that attending BOOKNETFEST has contributed to the growth of your Booktube experience? Prior to going to BOOKNETFEST, I felt like I was connecting with people online that had a lot of positives to it and continues to have a lot of positives to it. But until I met a few folks in person, I wasn't really sure whether the warmth and the joy and the connection that I felt online would be felt in person. And it was. In fact, on the first day, I met a couple booktubers, spent some time with them, and it felt like we had met each other before. It was warm. We were really open and honest with each other, and it was really easy to be around people. And I really liked that. I wasn't sure that that was going to be the case. Like others have mentioned, I was a little bit nervous about meeting people that I had met for the first time online. And of course, our online personas are our online personas. So to the extent that we try to be authentic, you never really know until you meet somebody face to face if what you see on camera is what you see face to face. And I try to be really authentic on my channel, and I try to be really authentic in person. And so I felt like I was just going to be me, which I was. And it was really nice to know that the people who were very warm and who had reached out to me online were just as warm and just as reach-outable in person. So that I really appreciated. What was the most enjoyable non-bookish activity you participated in while attending BOOKNETFEST? I did a lot of non-bookish things, and you'll see that in my vlog. But I would say my most enjoyable experience was probably when I went to Harry Potter, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. It's been a trip that I have wanted to take for quite some time, and I ended up going by myself at the beginning. I wanted to get there really early. I wanted to enjoy the experience, to allow my inner child to just go buck wild and spend 5 hours in a store looking at wands if I wanted to, without having to negotiate time and space with anyone else. And I had that for the first couple of hours that I was there, but then serendipity just kind of kicked in, and I turn around and there's like Derby and Leanne, and then about an hour later I turn around and there is Priscilla and Yvette, and then all of a sudden we become this big group hanging out. And so I ended up getting the best of both worlds, which was to be in a state of wonder by myself for the very first time at Universal, and then to also be able to have an experience with others who also like Harry Potter and who also enjoyed taking in the sights together. So I think that was my most enjoyable time, but I had a lot of really enjoyable moments. For example, I went to Animal Kingdom with Olivia and with Rachel, and that was so much fun. I spent time with India and boyfriend Eric, her boyfriend, not my boyfriend, obviously married. So, but we all went and we had Italian food and we talked on Thursday night. And then I Had a great chat with Derby, just about our channels, just really low-key, sitting on a couch in the warmth, reading silently together. And then there were just so many wonderful moments of connecting with people and finding our ways and laughing and complimenting each other on all the things. Lots of hugs, which was part of my plan. So lots of amazing, amazing moments. Question number 5 is, shout out a few content creators you were excited to meet at BookNetFest. Now, I re-recorded this section because it was an abysmal mess. I had to make a list. Okay, these are some, but not all, of the amazing booktubers I met. India from Life is a Page Turner, Olivia from I Livy for Books, Rachel from Rachel Ray, The Weekend Reader, and I've only called you The Weekend Reader, so your IRL name I don't have at the moment. Amishi from Amishi Reads, Paige from The Minimalist Reader, Zoe from Your Book Nerd Zoe, Stitch from Stitchamancery, Priscilla from Bookie Charm, Yvette from Book Cave, Jocelyn from Yogi with a Book, Joss from Scribbles Reads, Derby from Derby Lane Reading, Leanne from Leanne's Library, James from James Chatham, and Thomas from SFF 180. And as a Black female booktuber, it was really important for me to connect with other Black female booktubers because our experiences are similar to other booktubers, but there are also some unique experiences that we have. And so I was able to have a number of different conversations with the sisters. So, and if you plan to come back next year, what is one thing that you would like to see different at BookNetFest? I do plan to come back next year, so that is the plan. And Tomi might come, so that will also be really cool. So what would I like to see different? A number of people who have done this tag have mentioned that it would be great to have an alternative space for spouses of booktubers. I think that would be really cool because it would allow some commiseration to occur among those folks, as Tomi laughs. Like, what is it like to be the wife of somebody who carries her camera everywhere and films as much as possible? Oh, you're on a date? Hold on, let me film a wrap-up. Right? Like, hi dad, happy birthday, let me just do a review on this book. So I mean, there is something about being the significant other of someone who has this other sort of online experience, and I think it would be really cool for the spouses of the booktube world to have some time to share and care together. So that would be cool. And finally, what exciting initiative is coming up for you on your platform that you would like other BookNetFest attendees to support? I have, over the summer, filmed footage of Afrofuturists in Toronto creating a collective vision of what Afrofuturism in Toronto might look like. And it started out as an idea, and I had a few people that I wanted to interview, and now it's kind of turned into like a mini documentary. So I'm getting some help to edit it, and that's coming up. And I'm looking forward to it. So if you could put some energy around that, I'm hoping that we will have that up to you sometime in the fall. The second is that I am revamping the 7-calorie shell system, and I'm hoping to finalize my thoughts in the next couple of weeks and put up a new video to replace the old 7-calorie shell rating system video. I've worked with the calorie shell system for about a year now, and I have some tweaks because I want to make sure that it prompts me to give the most rich feedback that I possibly can. Is there anything else?
Books.
What books?
Books that you're getting.
Oh, right. See, now this is why you need a spouse. Okay, so books. I reached out to, I don't remember the publisher, but I'll tell you later. I reached out to a publisher because I found out about a book called She Would Be King. I believe that's the title. And I just loved the synopsis when I read it. So I reached out to the publisher and I said, hey, look at my channel. Can you send me an ARC? And the publisher was in Europe, and they wrote back and they're like, we're all out of ARCs, but we will connect you to our Canadian distributing company. So they did that, and the woman there was amazing. And she basically said, yeah, we'll send you that book that you want, but given what you're interested in, we think we might have some other books that you might like. And so she sends me this Word document, a 32-page Word document with like all of these books, like 80% of which I was totally excited to read about, and a few of them I'd already had in my cart on Amazon, so I obviously deleted those. And so I'm getting a box of books in the next couple of weeks. So it's going to be my first book unboxing slash haul and slash publisher shout out, because I really appreciate that. I have a couple of author spotlights that are coming up as well. So I'm excited about what's happening on my channel. And for those of you who are planners, so I'm looking at you, India. For those of you who are planners, I've been thinking about how I organize my time amongst all of the different commitments that I have, personal, professional, and in terms of my commitment to the community and so on. And I have to admit that it has been a bit challenging to make sure that I'm on top of everything, and that's an ongoing process for me. So I recently found an app called Trello that I'm trying, and it's cool. So I think I might be talking about it a little bit. So it's not necessarily content for the channel, but it is something that I'm excited about. So I might be doing a few videos related to planning and management of things that I might invite you to participate in. Okay, so I think that is all for the tag. I want to say a couple of other things though that are not related to the tag. First of all, a lot of folks who have uploaded their vlogs and uploaded the tag have said how good it felt to be a part of BookNetFest. And I agree. There was something magical about BookNetFest. And I watch a lot of Booktube newbie videos, and there's a question in that tag that asks, you know, why did you start your Booktube channel? And inevitably the answer is, I started my Booktube channel because, yeah, I have people in my life who read, but I don't have people who read as much as I do. And I don't have people in my life who read the same books that I do. And I don't have people who want to talk about the books as much as I do, as often as I do. And so there was magic about being in a space with other people who read constantly, who love talking about the books, the plot, the contour of the book, who love talking about books, who love talking about making videos about talking about books. There's no shade around that. We were all sort of bookish nerds, and I don't think that I've been in a space like that with other content creators in the same realm. So I really appreciated that a lot. And I had a lot of feelings of connection and communication with other people. I also really appreciated the conversations about diversity, and in particular the experiences of women of color on social media, on YouTube, and on other platforms. And while I have not experienced similar kinds of the attacks that were described, I have definitely seen differences between how the channels of booktubers of color do in terms of subscribers and comments and likes versus white booktubers, and I've noticed that. And while I haven't been a part of the discussion, I certainly have been alive to it. That discussion took place in different ways at BookNetFest, and I love that Mari and Sam were very bold and courageous about creating a space on purpose where having those conversations would not be seen as negative or taboo, but they created safer spaces to just be like, look, yes, I love my books, yes, I love to do these videos, but let me also talk about what happens to me online. And a lot of people came away from those conversations saying, you know what, I had absolutely no idea that this was a reality. I don't know that I'm being a great ally. I don't know that I'm supporting, you know, my sister in the way that I should. Let me figure out how to do that. So that was really great. I also want to say thank you for people who created alternative spaces outside of the actual agenda so that booktubers could connect with each other. In particular, the tea hags. Okay, so first of all, you need to subscribe to the tea hags. because not only do they have great comedic timing and they're both so witty, they also went out of their way to create like a suite of joy. And every night they hosted people. I didn't go to the suite, but I saw all these people coming out of their suite and, you know, being really happy to be in their space. There were snacks, there were games, there was drinking, there were shenanigans. And I just feel like there was an alternative, like, parallel universe conference that was going on at night. And it was so great to see people being full of joy because they had those experiences. And the tea hags themselves are very warm to me and to others. And I just really loved what they were doing. And there were a number of other people who created spaces to kind of gather and to just share with each other. And I liked that people did that, because it can take a lot of emotional labor to hold a space together. And when people take it on their own initiative to do other kinds of activities to lift up the main activity, I think that it's really generous and really great. I have a lot to say about BookNetFest. I'm not going to say it here because I think this video is 18 minutes and 13 seconds. And Tomi's like giggling, and when she giggles, you see her dimples. And one day you'll meet her, right, Tomi?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's for you, Karen. So anyway, I thank you so much for watching this. To those of you who have done the tag, I really appreciate that you've done the tag. If you're at BookNetFest and you haven't had an opportunity to do the back from BookNetFest tag, I'd invite you to do so. I hope not only this will provide an opportunity for people who went to BookNetFest to feel nostalgic about it, but I also want it to be an opportunity for Sam and Mari to get some feedback as they turn their minds to next year without them having to like create a survey and all of that stuff. So trying to do my little part. All right, I'm done. Thanks very much for watching ONYX Pages, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
See you next time.
Tomi's gonna see you next time too.